Okay, folks, good morning. I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to put more clothes on. It is freaking freezing in here. I don't know why. It's only 55 or something outside. Problem is, everything I have for breakfast, everything I drink is cold. I'll warm up this room in no time. It's not a complaint. I mean, I can work when I'm cold. It's hot. Can't stand being hot for no reason whatsoever. The Wolfman, what's up? The Woman's Lair. All right. Now, I think I've kind of come to a conclusion in the last couple days. I'm not doing any more painting shows at night. None of my regulars are on there. I'm like struggling to stay awake, and if I drink coffee, like I don't need to drink coffee at night because then I have really interrupted sleep. And I'm not a night person anyway, so if you want to catch me, you're gonna have to go to the times that I'm on. All right. So now the poor Humber armored car. The 222 is done. Well, it still needs to be, clear coated, but we're supposed to get into the 70s today, so we're going to clear coat as much as we can and work on our vehicle. So that's what I got in yesterday. I got a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to get for several years to put fog lights and stuff like that on the car. Nothing crazy, just the stock fog lights. So we're going to be working outside. My toolbox came in, which I've been wanting a toolbox for the house, really for the house, not for the hobby. I was going to put it on the airbrush side. I'm like, nah, it's just someplace you can go and get all the screwdrivers and stuff. I'm not a tool person, and but still, it's a pain when you got to go find something and you can't find it. So I put that together last night, and now to painting. But yeah, this little guy is pretty much done here. Now it's time for the Humber to meet its doom. So I had no plan to destroy this, and then I couldn't find a wheel. And then I got the other Dragon ones, and it's really the grade screen. The body of it looks just fine. So I'm like, okay, I'll wreck it is. And then the poor Humber, I got this from one of the state sales that, and the turret, the guy glued the turret fixed. Like, what good is an armored car with a fixed, turret? Well, it's no good to me, I can tell you that much. So we're going to, that's what we're going to work on today, and I suspect it'll turn out, it might even look better than the 222, let's put it that way. More likely I catch morning shows in the UK, yeah. Sometimes I manage to pull the night streams on, but I was out for the count soon after. Morning ones I catch a few minutes though. Yeah, so I've been able to paint, I think, this entire last week before I go to work. I mean, I always had that time. I just decided to, surf or do something else during that time. So I'd rather paint. So, and I got watchers. I got 3 or 4 people watching at night. And like, they don't say anything. So like, you're waiting for, what are you doing? Are you bots? Are you up to no good? I just assume you're up to no good. No, but I don't care if they're up to no good. I need some kind of interaction. I just get bored. And I can't just like make a pot of coffee at night, that throws me all off completely. So anyhow, mornings it is. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind. All the people who watch me in the morning wouldn't have a problem with that. Okay, so we have the English uniform on there as the base. We're going to get the green ochre, which is the second color of the ground and happens to be what's all over the 222. Got sprayed with green ochre. What do we got? This. This is what we want. Might be a little too big in some areas, but yeah, I found myself several times like people were on. I can't tell who they are. And I know some people that have told me, yeah, I watch your shows all the time. And I'm like, well, speak up, man. I'm not like gonna call you out. This isn't like one of those shows where it's like, ah, come down, come on down, and we'll make fun of you kind of thing. Bunch of bunch of peeping toms. There we go. This is a little bit more in line with what we're looking for. And several people ask me, hey, why don't you do some instructional videos? And I'm all for doing them, but I don't think I can do them while filming my show. So I don't. I mean, the show really keeps me on track, and especially if it's some kind of like instructional video where um, it's in different parts where I have to wait on drying, which is seems like it's almost everything now. Then yeah, that's a lot of painting for me with no interaction. So we'll see. I We'll see how that turns out. The next couple of weeks are going to be weird. It's going to be well, next week's going to be normal, except really busy for work, and then rolls into the people that don't work for a living coming and visiting me and being in my parking space. Visitors. I really don't like people coming and visiting me, and I have to go to work and they don't. It just really irks me. It irks me. There's some things that irk me. Like I wouldn't want to go to Europe with people that have been to Europe a bunch of times. You know, my daughter was. I mean, my daughter. No, my daughter's never been to Europe. My wife has, but is like a 3 year old, so it doesn't really count. She didn't remember jack shit. But I don't want to go with people that go all the time. Ah, you don't want to go to that place. That's no good. I'm like, fuck you. Maybe you don't. You know. The mother-in-law travels so much, and she's been all over Europe, and she always posts these pictures, and I think she goes to every damn church that ever exists. Maybe she needs to repent that madly. I don't know. I told my wife, I said, well, our tour in Spain is going to be the same, except we're going to hit every fucking castle. I don't know. I say that, and after like four, I'm going to be like, okay, enough. Okay, so there we have the initial state of that. Probably could have done a video on this. I don't know. I can't interact with you guys then. Dark Sands next. I always like people say, show me how to do this. Oh, I don't have time to watch a live video. And I said, I understand it takes time to watch a live video, okay? But understand that you want something, and I'm going to give it to you for free. You can at least put the time, and there is a fast forward button on it. You know, like you want it's. I had this one guy that used to work for me many years ago. He would complain, man, I need hours, I need hours, I need hours. Then you give him hours. Oh, you're giving me too many. I need hours. He basically just wanted somebody to pay him to stay home and eat Cheetos and watch Oprah. Like, what do you want, man? I mean, I don't want to charge people for videos, but I also don't want to, like, if you don't want to put the time in, I'll anything you want to know, I'm willing to tell people what it is, but you got to be willing to listen. If you don't want to listen, how the hell are you going to get to the, to the meat potatoes? I mean, this stuff that's been long-winded that I've listened to on YouTube and stuff, I'll go and do housework and shit like that. And it makes the housework go, like, quick. Like painting or something like that. I had to paint, like, a bunch of stuff in 1-to-1 scale. I'm not a big fan of that. I put on some... Oh, I know what it was. I had to pressure wash my driveway. It took about 8 hours to do it. Not that my driveway's that big, but... I mean, I wanted to do a good job. So I ended up putting Dan Carlin on his World War I series. And the next thing you know, I'm like... I wanted to keep pressure washing. There's no pictures there. There's nothing to look at. It's just audio. And last, but not least... I need to do something and say last and least. Because it's always but not least. Well, one time least is going to get to a chance of not being so important. Okay, these new Vallejo bottles, don't like them. They've got this little thing that's made for children's security, this little white ring, and it won't come off and it spins on me. I don't like that. They still protesting? Vallejo workers. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with people protesting. I have a problem with siding with fucking communists and protesting. That's the problem I have with it. Or, or Nazis or whatever. Siding with people that, Oh, there's apparently a Vallejo, California, where there's protests. Well, there's always protest things in California. I'm too busy to be on strike. Sorry, not protest. I don't know. I've always worked at a right to work place, so strikes don't really apply to me. I think that's what it's called, right to work. Like, they don't want to hire you, they just get rid of you. It's like the free market. Like, man, do your job, man. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over all of this with this color, even though I'm going to go back and paint the tires and have to go over just the tires again. I think that worked well. So you guys in the UK, whether you work or not, let me see if I got this right. I don't want to put words in your mouth because I honestly don't know. I'm just trying to process it. Whether you guys are unemployed or not, you can go seek the same medical attention as somebody else can if they're working. It's just some of you pay for supplemental insurance, right? So you can like go to like to the front of the queue or something like that. Is that how it works? Like a doctor will see anybody there, regardless of whether they're employed or unemployed. It's just if you have an option of paying for priority service. That's what I heard. I'm not making. I didn't come up with your system. I'm just saying. I fortunately, I'm perfectly fine paying for insurance and never using it. Insurance is something I have no problem paying for and never using it. Car insurance, I don't want to claim on the car insurance. It's a pain in the freaking ass, and they don't pay. I think we need to use this stuff because this is extra flat. Pure black. As opposed to impure black. This stuff is great, folk art. And it's cheap and it's made in the US, so we can make cheap things here. We just gotta get rid of the lobbyists that drive the price of everything up. I think we can get away with using this brush. I just need to know these things. So I might decide to stay over in the UK, teach some of you guys how to speak the English language, and be unemployed. And I want to know if I can still go to my dentist. I want to know if I can go to, as you guys put it, to hospital. You mean to the hospital? No, to hospital. It's like something happens to you. I'm going to go to hospital. Okay. The pay side would be as private providers. For dentists, they usually offer both, with private being reserved for special procedures, like we're doing root canals. Okay. So you basically get your government one for no. I'm not going to say free. It costs you guys stuff. Like, oh, there's free healthcare. It's no additional cost. That's the term. My daughter brought like a cup from. She brought this mug that she just got out of college, and it was for student government. I said, Dad, they were giving this thing away for free. It's not free. It's no additional cost. It costs somebody something, and it's being trickled down, passed down to you. NHS is universal and free at the point of delivery for the recipient. Many people have private health insurance, me too, which allows you to get treatment without waiting. Okay. Without waiting is long. We still have to wait. Like, for instance, let me give you a U.S. example in my case. Real life example. Because, like, if you asked me, and nobody's medical system is perfect, but if you asked me, hey, what do you think would make the U.S. medical system better for you? Okay, that's very specific. Our medical system and my involvement in it, which is really pretty minimal. Thankfully, I don't have medical issues yet, and I'm thankful for that. But what would I think would be better? I think it would be better to get service even quicker. then we already get it. And any system, I think, that I gotta wait even more than we do now, I'm not in favor of. Now, let's use an example. It totally depends on what type of a doctor it is. Now, I've only been to dermatologist, regular MD, dentist. That's it. I don't think I've been to anything other than that. And if you go to my dermatologist, which I do dermatologist for my skin, the skin disorder that I have, so to speak, and I said, hey, I have this whatever. When can you fit me in? They're probably going to be able to fit me in next week. Not at the hour of my choosing. If I want to do what I like to do is first thing in the morning because there's less, how would you say it? There's less. The later you go in the day, the more they're off by their times, and your appointment might be. If you do a 3 o'clock appointment, they may not see you till 3:20 or 3:30. Now the regular medical doctor is terrible about that. I've been to a medical doctor before. My appointment was like at 11 and didn't see me for an hour and a half later than that. So it's really annoying. I don't like going to the medical doctor at all because their time is off big time. The dentist is almost always on time and the dermatologist is close. But the medical doctor is just like, they almost like, I know they don't do it on purpose, but their time is off a lot. The dentist can probably see me as long as it's not a cleaning. If you miss a cleaning, like with my insurance, you get 2 free cleanings a year, every 6 months, right? Which you need to do, or you need to go to the dentist more often for other stuff. If you miss one of those, you're fucked. I mean, you're waiting 3, 4, another 6 months. You can't miss the cleaning date because there's just that much of a backlog of them on the cleanings. But you schedule it. Okay, we'll see you in 6 months. This is the day it's going to be. If you get like a week before, it's like, hey, my whatever happened, I need to reschedule. You're basically at their whim. Good luck with that. That's probably the worst scheduling of any of them. But you know what? It's not really something that your life depends on. It's I got to get this plaque off or I'm going to die. It's not going to happen like that. If I have to, if I have a sore throat or something like that, or a cough that won't go away, that I need to go see the doctor, the regular MD, they're probably going to be able to see me within 4 days. But that's a long time and what I mean by it's a long time is like, if I feel like I need to go to the doctor, it's already been hounding me for a while, right? I'm not like going to be like, oh, I have a sniffle. Let me go to the doctor. No, I'm not going to go to the doctor until I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore, right? So at that point, you're adding days on something that you've already had a lot of time dealing with it. So I actually, true story, I had this cough, I'm going to say a year ago, that wouldn't go away. It was just stupid. And I was convinced it was environmental. And I wanted to go see the doctor, and they couldn't see me for a week. So I went to the urgent care. And it cost me $100 out of pocket after insurance, but they got rid of the cough. So you have that choice, but generally that's about what the waiting times are. Now I don't know about really nasty procedure kind of stuff. I have no idea what the waiting time is on it, but I want somewhere I can go see my doctor and I can see him like the next day. What's that going to cost? And I don't go to the doctor unless I have to. As it's not a pleasant experience. I gotta go from work. I want to do it first thing in the morning so that their times aren't off and so I don't smell because I'm in an inside outside type of job all the time. I don't want to go and I want to smell like the gentry. Dentists, opticians, and other medics have contracts with NHS, but there is a cap on treatment. For example, £600 for dentist. I've never paid a ton of money at a dentist. And I've had, I guess what they would call big work done. I'd like a cracked molar. Didn't even hurt or anything. Like, we need to go ahead and put a crown on it or whatever. Damn near painless, took some time. Many functions of the NHS are provided by private companies, but they're paid by the government, so still free at delivery. So I have this medication that I'm on for my skin disorder. Again, it's not a life-threatening skin disorder. I've had it since I was 18, so I've had it a long time. Not curable. And it is a pain in the fucking ass. Until I got on this injection, which I don't know what the side effects are, but I haven't had any. But one of the side effects are what the medicine cost. Now, at point of delivery, since we're going to use your terminology, I actually like that. At point of delivery, it costs me nothing. But somebody's paying for it. So, like, they have this copay assistance plan, which costs me nothing. Well, I still pay my insurance, and I've got, good insurance. So what I like to think is all of my insurance monies go towards covering that. Because fortunately I don't have any other treatment that I go to other than that. But it's like $6,200. That's what they tell you every time you order. You're like, I just wanted to let you know this thing costs $6,200. For like 3 months. I think it's 3 months. Yeah, it's 4 times a year. $6,200, and but with your co-pay assistance, your out of pocket is $0. So that's my NHS equivalent thing. Fortunately, if I had to pay that, I wouldn't pay it. I don't know what I'd do. I just deal with it. It's not that bad. It's just cosmetic, and it makes you itch like a motherfucker, and it makes people ask, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" I'm allergic to people that ask dumb fucking questions. That's what I'm allergic to. Everybody has something. Just some of the stuff that people have is visible, and some of it is invisible. And the problem with people that have a condition that's visible is that it's annoying that you have to revisit it. It's like if somebody was in a fucking fire, okay? Like somebody was in a car fire, their house caught on fire or something. They're disfigured somewhere, like on their face. You wouldn't go up to him and say, "Hey, what happened to your fucking face?" Every time you saw him. Like, it would drive him crazy. He'd be like, "Fuck this, I'm reloading." You just go fucking crazy. Just, like, I don't do shit like that. You don't walk up to somebody that has a handicapped kid and, "Hey, what's wrong with your kid? Why can't he fucking walk right?" Like, have some fucking manners, Although I am going to go to the next game convention and go, and I run into somebody stinky. "Hey, what's wrong with your fucking armpits, man? Why do they smell so bad?" But that's an easy fix. But everybody has something. Seriously, everybody has something. And some people have multiple things. Just some of it is hidden. I got a guy I used to work with. We're not going to mention what he is. But he would always brag that he was relatively skinny. Or as I like to say, he has a metabolism. Mine's like freaking gone. He was always super skinny, but he had all these blood issues. So all stuff was wrong with his blood. So there's stuff that's going on. My stuff's all on the outside, fortunately. But that shit's a miracle drug. But why is it so expensive? Well, it did cost them money to develop it, but they freaking put commercials for it on the TV. Ask your doctor about Lubricia. Don't even tell you what it's for. So then you go to your doctor and you ask for Lubricia. Oh, that's for women's lubricant. Why are you asking me about that? Well, I saw it on the telly. That costs money. That drives the prices up of stuff. Having these drug pushers drive around whining and dining doctors to prescribe their medicine, that costs money. That drives cost up. Lobbyist cost. So, fortunately, it's covered. Now, how much would I pay for it? I don't know. If it was a couple $100 a month, I'd probably pay $100 a month. If it was more than that, I just have to deal with it. It just isn't. It isn't life threatening. It's not like I'm going to die from it. So, But everybody has something. So, well, I think at this point we're gonna have to weather over this. Let's take this sand color and let's work the sand over the vehicle. Yeah, wait a little bit. I don't want to do the black pin wash is coming, but I don't want to put the black pin wash and then like end up going over it. What's up, Francois? At ease. You're not currently in the military, are you? Ex-military. That has that has like a nice sound to it. Or I'm ex-military. I don't know. I just kind of. I guess there's some people that hate the military. I'm certainly not one of those. Um, out there doing an impossible job, like cops. But I got more respect for the military than cops. I was having a conversation with somebody. I think I know who it is, in person, and they were talking about whether or not you joined the military or whatever. And I said, well, I almost joined the military because I went to MEPS 3 times. I was shipping out to boot camp, and then they found that I had this skin disorder they didn't want to pay for. Um, and like, well, you're disqualified. I mean, I bet you could probably go in there with it now. Like they want people. They want people to sign up for that shit. Um, and the person asked, said, well, did you swear in? And I'm like, yeah, I remember swearing in and all that. I said, well, then technically you were in for a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, I don't count that. I mean, I'm like, that's like taking away the sacrifice that other people did. I don't want to ride on somebody's coattails. I didn't do shit. Okay, like, you know. Now, luckily, it wasn't like you went to boot camp and then you get disqualified. I have a feeling that'd be the worst part for me. Would have been just dealing with the nonsense of boot camp. Well, you post a video on my other channel, and not only can I not find the video on this account, I can't find the channel. I posted a video on my other channel. I didn't know you had another channel. Okay. What is your channel? I don't even know that you had a channel. Are you someone that I know by other names? You don't have to tell me. That's cool. And not only I cannot find the video on this account, I cannot find the channel. Well, the other day, I got one of my videos that was limited. It was put on limited, and I'm like, it was the Thursday morning. It was called Thursday Morning Rex, and the bots, because the bots are out there, and maybe they do some good, but I don't know. But they had demonetized my channel, which it's not going to get any money. I just don't want that strike on there. Like it's like, hey, here's a demerit. Like, the hell. Foxhole Games. Oh, okay. Well, shit, I want to write that down and see what you have. That's a good name, by the way. Foxhole Games. One of the sayings that I use in real life, unlike this. No, I'd like to think I'm the same in real life that I am here. I value shit like that. Oh crap! Which one of these two is it? Scheisse. Okay, well, let's let's start over. These two are really close to each other. One of the sayings I like to say is when you see somebody that is like not well, like I wouldn't want to share a foxhole with that guy. I say that a lot, actually. I encounter a lot of people that I wouldn't want to share a foxhole with. So I'm sure you know what that means. You know, your life depends on you. You can't count on that guy. Especially since the whole COVID debacle. There's not a whole lot of people I'd want to share a foxhole with. Foxhole game, that's a good. They take down one of your videos or something? That's not cool. Man, I'm starting to feel out. I mean, Jeffrey and I are starting to feel left out, man. We don't have two aliases. Early on, I was like, I'm just going to use my real name because it's just too annoying to. It's too annoying to say, oh yeah, I'm the guy from you know, Toy Tanks or whatever. You know, Toy Tanks. That's not what I would have used. I would have used something else, but um, that's me. I'm like, oh, okay. So this one that's pinkish is the pale sand. I'm just not gonna say I'm not gonna say anything on here that I'm not willing to own up to. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying it's just more trouble for me than it's worth. You know, you just get to be there's things that you'd rather not engage in. One of the things I don't like to engage in is explaining things to people. I don't like being questioned. I really don't like being questioned. God, I hate being questioned. That's the problem I have with cops. I have no problem with cops, but who the fuck are you to question me? Or like that's the problem I have going. My wife's like, "Why are you so worried about going through security?" I said, "I've gone into the Pentagon. I had no problem going into security. Like, I don't want to be stopped by TSA and be questioned about anything because I'm like the best fucking person there. Like, you know, the plane's not going to go down on my watch unless there's a mechanical failure. I mean, not think about that. I got to fly, but, you know. But I'm like, I'm one of the fucking good guys, man. Let me see. Let me see the background of that TSA guy. I said, oh, I see you've been did something else, you know, doing some stuff on the side, you know, looking at child porn or something. So I hate being questioned. So when I go and I got my car and like, what kind of tint do you want? Do you want the legal or do you want illegal tint? No, I want legal tint because I don't want to be stopped by a fucking cop and him have an attitude. You know, stopped by some guy that's 4'9", you know, some cop that's 4'9" that wants to prove himself because he's still upset that his daddy didn't think he was a real man because he didn't grow up to be normal sized. I don't say anything I wouldn't say in person, but I like my First Amendment and my right to privacy. There you go. You can do whatever you want. I would have a problem coming up with a channel name that wasn't my own name because I would cogitate so much. Like, I mean, you have to commit. You know, that's one of the problems I have with like coming up with a Xbox Live handle or something like that. What name am I going to come up with that I'm not going to get tired of in 5 years? You know, and you get that stuff thrown on you at the last minute. Like, you know, somebody else, I'll be like, okay, I got to create a Gmail account so that I have a Gmail. Okay, right now you have to decide what's the name that you're going to be known for. Fuck, man, I didn't plan for this. I didn't study for this shit, you know? Um, so I always think about stuff like that, and you encounter somebody who's, you know, hard pecker 7543. I mean, you probably can't use that, but I'm like, why would you have names in your freaking numbers in your handle, you know? Unless that's like, you know, the cell block that you live on, you know. I just don't understand that. But it's like, you know, I worry about shit like, okay, you got to make a decision now. Like, what the fuck? Let me think about it. This is like kind of permanent. So I've talked about going to this hobby store in town, this game shop that I call Pussyfoot's Paradise. It's okay. They got lots of Ayeho paints and everything. It's just everybody's in there is just too like they wouldn't have survived the 1980s. Let's put it that way, or the 1970s. They certainly wouldn't have survived the 1970s. The banana seat on one of those bikes would have freaking they wouldn't have been able to survive that. Anyways, this younger generation that is upset about everything, and I'm not saying like I'm a badass or anything, but there's like even growing up, there's like stuff that you just have to deal with it. And now people don't want to deal with anything. You think, oh, well, that's making society better. Well, it's actually not. It's turning everybody into a candy ass. Anyways, I digress. Cafe. I call it Pussyfoot's Paradise. So, I don't even know what I was going to say about Pussyfoot's Paradise. Okay, no. They ended up moving. They got a. I mean, it's a nice store for like paint and stuff like that, but they got a bunch of gamer shit on there, and I'm not a fan of gamers. Hey, what's up, Marcus? They need a shower, you know. I don't know what I was gonna say. It's probably something with like handles or something like that, but. Well, we got the 222 done yesterday. Other than the spraying, it's honestly been too cold to spray. Well, I was at work, so that's my excuse. I'm sure I'll think about it. I'll think of it in a second. Let's get a little. Let's make sure that we got some of this on the top. Now, the only thing is this guy that I bought this thing from. I mean, he's an older guy. He glued every single thing on there. So we got a gas can here that didn't fall off. We got some tarps that didn't fall off when this took a nosedive. It is what it is. It's just on there. I wouldn't have wrecked this thing if he wouldn't have glued the damn turret closed. And man, I tried everything but carving this thing out. I couldn't. Look, I was even able to pop this, but I couldn't get the turret to budge. So I'm like, I don't have a use for this thing. You know, I don't have a use for this thing with the turret not moving. It's a great vehicle. I love me some Humber Mark Twos. It's a beautiful vehicle, and cute as hell. Double whammy, cute and beautiful. So hopefully you find your wife the same way, cute and beautiful. Okay, yeah, this has got a little bit of a pinkish hue. Pinkish. So I go to the store and it's like, and everything goes game shop. And I'm fine with being inclusive, but at some point, you got to respect each other. And if they want you to respect some people completely, but then you don't get respected either, like, is that really solving anything, or are you part of the problem as well? But anyways, they've got a good selection of paint and stuff like that. I don't mind, giving them businesses. But I honestly thought they were going to have knowing the kind of individuals that frequent this place, I thought they would have just taken all the Vallejo paint off of the racks. Just like, we can't sell this while it's in protest. On strike, sorry. Protest strike. It's the same to me. I don't know anything about that. I don't live in a place where really unions are that big a thing. I understand that they had a purpose. Maybe they still have a purpose, but there's bad corporations are bad, and then union shit's bad too. Like this whole thing. Like I'm not picking that. You some guy works in a shop and you're not picking a wrench there because it's not part of your job description. Like, how does that benefit anybody? That just basically creates like you just don't want. You're just there for a paycheck. Like that's not good, you know. And not having enough time to spend time with your family is also not good. I mean, there's got to be balance. I mean, okay, black lining time. So all the stuff that I thought that was going to come in yesterday did not come in. They flat out lied to me. Typical postal service. Actually, one thing that happened is something was said it was delivered yesterday and it wasn't. And then our resident redneck spy network said, knocked on my wife's door. She was working from home yesterday. And she said, yeah, they said that your package, this guy came by and said that your package is like 9 houses down on the side of the road. And it's like the most expensive thing I've ever ordered by mail. Like $400 or something like that. I've never ordered $400 of anything on mail. Well, technically, the medicine that I get for no additional cost for me is the most expensive thing I ever ordered. But that's not my actually it would be my cost if it walked away. But yeah, they had just thrown it on the side of the road there. And I told my wife without missing a beat, I said, I'd report it missing if it would guarantee that that person would lose their job. But since there's probably no guarantee of that, we're going to do the honest thing. I don't do shit like that anyways. That's the kind of stuff that makes you lose sleep at night. But I'm just saying, I would do something like that if it meant that piece of shit that just decided to throw it on the side of the road. Because I'm sure he screwed other people too. It wasn't like, well, let's just screw Tony with his one package. He probably just didn't give a shit about anybody. He wanted to go back and, smoke a bowl or something like that. I don't know. So I came up with this terminology in the last 2 days. I know it's been around forever. That really drives home what's happening a lot with a lot of people. They lack fire. Okay? People lack, not everybody, they lack fire. People are just, like a sad walrus that's ice flow is melting and, just like, boom, 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 boom. It's like, you don't need to be wound up like on crack all the time, but there's a time to hustle. And there's a lot of people that I interact on a daily basis at work and not at work that just lack hustle. It's like they would, if they were on a fire department, you'd be screwed. You'd be like, oh, well, the house is on fire. Like, dude, man, like, pick it up. You don't have to be running around like a maniac, but there's a time to hustle. And man, there's so many people that just lack fire. And I swear that gets worse every day. They're probably the same people that like are keyboard commandos. Like they're probably really quick with. I know all the answers. When it comes to like doing their job, I was at Lowe's picking up something that they didn't have in stock, and it took them 30 minutes to find out if they had it in the back. Realized I had to order it. When it came in, I went to the store there to pick it up, to bring it up, to tell them I was on the way to bring it up front. I hadn't brought it up front, no problem. It took them 30 minutes to bring it. I mean, it's just like, lack of interest in hustling about anything. And I've worked retail. Retail's not, retail's a bad job because it doesn't pay well and it doesn't pay the bills. I don't think working in a retail store is bad at all. I worked at a retail store for many years. There's other jobs I would consider that would suck. I wouldn't want to work at a fast food place, but working at like a Lowe's, not that bad a job. I mean, it doesn't pay the bills, but I would have worked at a place like that if I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And I hustled at those jobs. I remember when I worked at the grocery store in the late 80s. I was like the longest person there that worked. I was there 2 years. it didn't pay beans, but you got to work somewhere, and none of the places pay beans. The whole thing is, you're 18, 19, 20, 21. Don't be doing that when you're 61, 62, 63, 64, It just doesn't pay the bills. It's not that it's not a horrible job. You just got to do something to pay you well. You got to do something. You got to bring something to the table that not any schmo off the street can do. And and being able to provide fire, I think, has a lot of value. Like, what is it I say? You don't have to be the best person at work. You just got to be better than everybody else. If you're better than everybody else, I mean, unless you work for somebody who's just a Nazi, for lack of a better word, you're going to get ahead. But that's a lot. There's a guy that I work with, and I told him, I mean, he's new. He's been there like a year. He's a kid. I don't know if he's 22. And I said, man, I like you. He's like, well, why do you mean that? I said, you have the right attitude. You have fire. Like, he hustles, like you can see things going sideways and tries to get, tries to make it better, or like, not make the same mistake a second time, or gets upset when he screws up and tries to fit, stuff like that is just, I guess, uncommon these days. You know? I agree on the fire matter. I also see a lack of ownership often. But that could be, the lack of ownership also comes from the management too. The management, if they don't own up to shit. My big issue with the week is someone or some group stealing money through ACH debit directly from one of my company bank accounts. I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on this channel. If I own my own business, which I don't have the right personality for, I would take too much shit personal. I wouldn't have any employees. Because there's too many people there's too many folks that just weren't raised right. You get some bad apples too, but you get some people that are raised right and then you just turn out bad. But most of it's people that were raised like bad. You don't expect them to turn out well. Like, I had this happen. I had like 4, 5, 6 employees or whatever at one time. Or I managed them directly at one time. Something I couldn't care less about. Some people, like, they want a title. Some people want to manage people. I don't give a fuck. I just want to be successful, kick ass, and get the money to come in. I don't give a shit about titles. I'm not I don't want to be Lord or Lady of the Marsh. Lady, I definitely don't want to be a lady. But some people care about that stuff. I don't care about that. But at the time, I had 5 or 6 guys that worked directly for me, and one guy either retired or was too old to drive and couldn't pass his physical or something. We had to get another hire. So we got this one guy. As soon as you get, it was so long ago, I don't remember exactly, but basically, in a nutshell, if you got 4 or 5 guys that are good, and you bring one guy in that has a baddish attitude, he's gonna make the other guys rot. The other guys aren't gonna bring him up. It's just a bad apple will make other things rot. Every time, every time. You got guys that don't bitch, then Frank comes in and say Frank's the bitcher. All of a sudden, everybody's bitching about everything. Like, you just can't have shit like that. So I literally had somebody. I was having a conversation with someone, and at work, and after work actually, and they asked me. He said, "Guess how much I make?" Is what they said, and I said, I don't want to guess, and I don't want to know. Please do not tell me. I will frickin' punch you if you tell me how much you make. I do not want to know how much other people where I work make. And that's the first thing that people that work in those entry-level positions, they just can't keep their mouth shut about how much they make. Because just think about it. Let's say you find out somebody who you think is a slacker, okay? And they make as much as you do. You're going to be fucking pissed. You know? Or say the slacker finds out that they make as much as the other person that hustles. They're not going to want to hustle. I do not want to know how much people make. Or in my case, I find out that somebody that is able to work from home several times a week and has a flexible schedule maybe makes more than I do. I'd be upset. I don't want to know. I don't want to. I'm okay with the arrangement that we have right now, but I don't want to know. It doesn't benefit anybody. Same thing. I don't care that if my wife were to make more money than me. Let her do it, man. We're a team, you know. I don't think any less. As long as I can outpaint her and know how to read maps better than her, I'm good. She can be better at everything else. I don't give a shit. Just don't fuck with my history, my painting, you know, and don't tell me where to go on the road. I am the map messiah, which I'm actually really good at that. I suck at painting compared to map shit. But that's it. She can be better at everything else. We're a team. That's how it should work. She could be better at everything else. But yeah, I never talk about how much money I make. Especially not with somebody at work. That's disheartening. But these laborers, they can't keep their mouth shut, you know? First job I ever had, working at the grocery store. Minimum wage was, I don't know, $3.25, $3.15, something like that. Oh, you've been here 6 months or a year. We'll give you a quarter raise. And the minimum, so they raised me to say $3.35. And then the minimum wage went from $3.10, $3.15 to $3.25. And I didn't get a raise. I found out right then and there. I was like, I don't like this raising the minimum wage thing because it doesn't benefit anybody that has earned getting more than the minimum wage. But I don't talk about that shit with anybody. You know, what good is it going to do you? Somebody's going to get pissed. Somebody's going to want to quit over it. That's just drama. Are you willing to work where you're working for what you're getting paid? Yes or no? If it's a yes, well then we'll see you on Monday. If it's a no, well then, I guess you won't go back there again. Like, I get nosy. I find out somebody's like, who's this guy they hired? Well, let's see if I can find anything on the internet about him. Oh, this guy is vice president in charge of vice presidents and vice presidencies. Like, who gives a fuck, man? I don't give a shit if you're royalty or something, or you think you're royalty. This is America. There's no friggin' royalty here. And the only royalty there is in America is people that think that the famous people or people that are wealthy are worth a damn. And they're just, they shit just like everybody else. And sometimes they're not very they're not very nice individuals. So what good does it do you? I'll look somebody up. Oh, this guy's been a year here, and a year somewhere else, and a year somewhere else, and 6 months here, and 2 years here. And all they're doing is they're trying to climb this corporate ladder at different corporations. They're not even climbing the corporate ladder at the same corporation. They're moving around to different corporations to try to climb the corporate ladder. I mean, if you want to be the boss that much, just start your own business. Be a Marcus, start your own business. If that's what your goal in life is, I realized early on, like, my job is really demanding considering how long I've been there. I mean, it should be like a breeze. It's a pain in the freaking ass. Why would I want more pains in the freaking ass? I mean, unless I wanted to work on like my alcoholism merit badge or something like that, which I'm nowhere near getting. There's a lot of things I realize. Oh, you shouldn't take things so personally. Okay, all right. Well, then I won't take things personally. Then I'm not. If I don't want to take things personally, then I'm not going to answer emails while I'm not at work. I'm not going to, um, that kind of stuff. If you don't make time for yourself, nobody at work is going to. Just like if you don't stand up and defend your family, who's going to stand up and defend your family? Your government. You know. Do you have the Airfix 8th Army officer? I saw some painted 132nd 8th Army on Facebook. I do. I have one. And he is a charming lad. And he might just be named Waddington. Just say, or something that's like Waddington. He's got to have some pompous fucking name. Sorry, Ben. I have one. So that Airfix set and the Africa Core sets are ones that I bought at the toy store probably circa 1980 to 82. And I've had them since then. And during that time, playing with them as a wee one, things get lost. Especially the cool figures, right? Well, the officers are usually first guys to go. Guys with submachine guns, flamethrowers, those guys are gone, The guy that's laying down, like with his hands covered like this, yeah, I got all them. I can't manage to lose those guys. The guys like, nine eyes. Actually, he'd probably be useful as a gun crew guy. Oi, haha. Well, you need to stop with the oi crap. Because we're not going to call you that. None of this oi talk. We're going to have a guy that speaks in complete RP. Pronounce all your syllables. What are those compound names? Those compound last names like Kensington. Not like, what's his name? Brown. No. Oi. Remember, I'm looking all of this through the lens of an Americano. That's how we see you guys. Always a good idea to see where a person has come from and why. My work used to promote failure to get rid of them. Okay, I need to digest what you just said. Always a good idea to see where a person has come from and why. Okay, I agree with you. That part I follow. I agree completely. My work used to promote failure to get rid of them. So you used to set them up to fail to get rid of them, or you make them more important, or you found guys that were failing and promoted them so they would go somewhere else. I don't know. I haven't had enough coffee. How many fingers of coffee have I had? That's the problem. I've had 4 fingers of coffee and none of whiskey. Your officer could be huge jars. Oh man. Excuse me, old boy, but I found the jibe quite humorous. Oh man. I love you guys, and you know that. I'm gonna have fun in England. If I could find some people that talk like that, I think I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be, but it's probably gonna be one of these things. It would me going to London, thinking that's the UK, is like somebody that goes to New York and think that's America. New York isn't America. Sorry, Marcus. Well, you freaking know. You know? Where you come from is more America than New York. By jingo. So I need a British infantry officer that calls for Canadian tanks for fire support, and he calls it, "By jingo, there's some Jerry's over there in that town. Would you please do a good job of suppressing fire on them?" And he blows up a town. Sorry about that. They got rid of poor performers by promoting them. That is just that the logic in that makes my head hurt. One guy ended up being promoted to Shetland, the furthest north office. You in the police service or something like that? That's what it sounds like. I agree. I feel the same of a lot of cities, like San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco. So big cities are just. I think big cities suck everywhere. There might be some big cities that are worth a damn. I don't know. Maybe Sydney, Australia is worth a damn. I don't know, but every big city in Florida is a shit show. I'm not saying a podunk town is a great place to live either. I mean, like, how about have some balance? Like Jacksonville, Miami. Miami's another country that, yeah. Jacksonville's the Baltimore of the South. Outskirts are fine. Went to Atlanta a couple years ago and I was really impressed. But that's one of those places where they have protests and burn everything fuck down. I mean, like, what the hell, man? At least like go after the people that are like, I don't like that guy. Well, go to his house and burn his house down, not like your own houses. London is a separate country to all for all intents and purposes, like Rome would have been to an imperial capital. Well, that stinks. I'm not gonna. No one's gonna speak English there, are they? No, I suspected as much. But I don't blame you guys for not wanting to live there. I mean, I wouldn't want to live in a big metropolis like Washington D.C. is great to visit. I wouldn't want to live there. Like to do all the tourist stuff, I think D.C. is great. Even Edinburgh is more a- alien with thin Scottish. Yeah. I'm gonna start calling. I'm gonna go to Pennsylvania. And start going. Hey, where's the road to Pittsburgh? It's Pittsburgh, you yints. No, what is it they call people there? Jagoff. You jagoff. I'm just gonna take language lessons from Ben. Go on there and said, these Londoners are a bit, what is it that he said? Are a bit arse. Of course, if I hadn't spent more time, I could really screw with people. I could, like, like hail at somebody, like, excuse me, sir. And then when they go, oi, I would go, yeah, is this a tram that goes over to the downtown area? That's what I was talking about. I forget where it said that you said that you lived, but when you said it, the village, that's a word. There are no villages here in the United States. We call them, podunk towns or something. There's no village. Village just has a different connotation. Village has a connotation of like, if there's a disturbance, we're going to grab our pitchforks and take care of it ourselves, which, can be a form of entertainment. You just got to make sure you go after the right person. You can't just like be randomly like, burning witches. Like, you got to make sure she's really a witch. Or he. I didn't want to, a he witch. A hitch. I think that's an antenna. I think that is an antenna thing. We'll have to check out the Humber 2 references. But my 3D order should be, again, it said it was supposed to deliver today, and then you go and look at it, and it hasn't even made it to Jacksonville yet. So it's like, no information is better than bad information. You get all this information. Hey, you're going to receive this today. All right, let me get ready. Oh, just joking. Just kidding. If she breathes, she's a witch. One horse towns. There you go. Just like Texas. Texas is a different place. Maybe not everywhere in Texas, but I've been to Texas. And Texas is interesting. I wouldn't hate to live in Texas. Well, it depends where in Texas, you know. But man, this guy's got all kinds of tools and stuff. Should have had more weapons than tools on this thing. Yeah, Texas is an interesting place. And I don't mean that derogatory. It has the best state flag. I mean, it's not even close in my opinion. Tennessee's number two. The best state flag is Texas. It's just, it's one of everything. You get, ow, man, freaking hurt. Cold hands. My hands are never cold. One stripe of one color, one stripe of another color, a blue field, and one star. What else floats in water? Big nose. Should I go and talk like that in everything I say? One of those manly, womanly voices that they use on Monty Python? I can't do it. I'll wake the girls up. Like the girls up. And we got an extra girl. I know they had a buy one, get one free sale. No, my daughter brought a roommate over for a couple days, so. Roommate? No, not a roommate, but somebody she goes to school with. Okay, I think we're okay with this. All right. Am I going to waste a decal on this thing? Well, we want to make it look believable. I think so. Seven viewers. And at least 4 of them are talking. Unlike nighttime. All right, I'm going to go over here and look at... No, I can do this on my phone. It's easier to access from the phone. Oh, no, it's not. Because that damn Excel acts weird as shit. Let me see if I can access it here. I believe it's 77. I believe it's 77. And of course, I find out after I painted this thing that this color, by a known expert, was not supposedly, I'm taking their word for it, was not used on Portland stone wasn't used overall without camouflage. According to Mr. Starmer. I believe that's what his name is. Okay. What am I looking for? Oh, I'm looking for my sheet. Where's my sheet? Let's go gallery. No, it's not going to be there because it's an Excel sheet. So I'm going to go to, nope. How about my files? Thank you. Documents. Some things are just easier on a computer, and this is one of them. Let's see what this is. Oh my God, I got a lot of instructions. I need to get rid of these things. It's polluting my memory space. Okay, just once. This thing's gonna freak out opening. Okay, Senior Armored Car Regiment, 76. It's green over blue, 76. Okay, so that's gonna go over here, and then the Jeroboam goes on this side. All right, let's hop to it. 11th Hussars vehicle, knocked out, which weren't named. They did not have names, which is, a shame that I can't call this, Tweedlebug or something. What do we need? Blue, then green. Let's do the blue first. Let's get us a... intense blue. Well, we'll see about that. This is the stuff that I enjoy doing the most. Oh no. Well, we need so little of this. Okay, this thing's all broke ass. Broke ass paint. I don't use these colors at all. I don't know if this helps at all. Not a big deal. Just annoying to be fumbly. We'll get you later. This is what I came to get. Some of these paints, I think, had been sitting on a shelf for a long time before I purchased them. Yeah, that will come off. It's basically off now, but... And Let's scoop out this blue turd. I just can't see shit that's 3 feet away from me or 2 feet away from me. We're gonna have to do some severe surgery. You know, fuck it. I want to straighten this fucker out right now. And let's, yeah, this is about the right size. Make an example of you. This is good paint. It's just been settling a long time. It's always been this way since I've had it. This particular, it's a great blue. It's just always been this way. Insolent blue. Okay. And the thing is, like, I could buy a new blue in this one, but I'm like, there's plenty of good paint in there. Just gotta scoop it out. All right. Cheapo black will work for this. Mix with it. Oh, I thought I was going to use a decal for this. Oh, fuck it. Let's paint it. I like painting this stuff. It's damn near square. Let's make it a little bit bigger this way. Okay, that's damn near square. We're not going to paint as a Jeroboam. We'll use a decal for that. I could do it, but it's not going to look. It's not going to look good enough for me. And the green that we're going to use, we're going to need that to dry that a little bit. The green that we're going to use, I just refilled. Deep green. And of course that blue will bring up a little bit, but we won't do that until that's got to be a small 786 I'm going to draw on there. I can do it. I also could make it a little bit bigger. No, I didn't check exactly what size it needs to be. That's anal. Let's get this a little bit bigger. I don't want it going to the edge. Okay. Now the green goes on top and the bottom goes on the top. All right. This is brand new, so it better behave. Should get a paint mixer. Nope, can't use it right now. The girls are asleep. How's that dog working out for you? You say his name was Shadow? Yeah. Dog's name is Shadow. Hopefully it's a dark dog. Albino dog named Shadow. Like, what's wrong with you, man? Somebody got their rods and cones mixed up. 76, split through the middle. No blue? Okay. Okay, let's split about in half. Now I'm going to go back to the blue. I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Not as high as it's going to go, but just a little bit. Maybe even to this core color. I'm going to need to bring it up a little bit. More than that. So here's the thing for you guys, for you Brits. When they take somebody and give somebody, I think it's called peerage, isn't it? Like they go somebody and it's like, we want to make you Sir so and so. What does that get you? And I know some people don't want it. Some people are like, nah. Most people take it, but like, when they knight you, what does that get you? You get to go to the front of the queue or something? And am I able to get that in the 2 days I'm going to be there? That's not my people. That's not my responsibility. All right, so we got a nice little square here, split in half, green and blue. Then we got to put a 76 in it. In white, which of course we'll do in light gray. This one. Okay, that tip of that 7, this is when you're drawing these things, is small little points like that are important. When you're looking at that 7, you're drawing a box. I don't want to look at that forever and ever. Where's my I can't do diddly shit without my glasses anymore. If this is your box, and half of it is green and half of it is blue, and you've got this 76 in it, the 7, the end of the 7 here, first of all, it runs through the middle of this box. And the top of it ends in the middle of the box. If I wanted to look like this. And then it comes down to the middle of this box. And the 6 starts like in the middle of this section here. And all of the circle, all of the space in the middle of the 6 is in the blue. So in other words, it's like this. A plain knighthood gives you nothing but the title. A life peerage means you become a working peer and are able to debate and amend legislation in the House of Lords. So the House of Lords is like your Senate, right? But I think it's got less power. I don't really know how it works. But okay, so title is just a title. Well, I don't. That's poppycock. They create the fake character. His name would be Sir Jingo Harumph Poppycock. Who's that officer over there? Oh, that's Jingo. A poem written by Jingo Harumph Poppycock. Okay, get out of here. Out, damn spot. All right. Here we go. Here goes everything. Hey, if I do it wrong, I gotta fix it. Maybe I'll just get upset with it and just say, fuck it, I'll just put a decal there. Oh, I could have done that. And I'm not opposed to using decals. I just figured this is an opportunity for greatness. So I'm gonna put that diagonal part on the 7 first. Okay, that's pretty happy with where that is. So then I'm going to do the 6. How much space is in between those two? A little bit. I'm gonna quit my day job. I'm gonna quit my day job and live under a bridge. Motherfucker, that's good. Alright, I gotta show you this. I gotta toot my own horn. Now I wish I'd done it in white. Nah, it makes sense to do two of them. I gotta clean up a tiny little bit of the six. Look at that shit. Yeah, buddy. I'm looking forward to whatever time doesn't change. I don't like this time right now because the nights are terrible. I'm okay with it being dark in the morning. I don't like being like you get home from work and like I just want to crawl into a casket, you know? Um, Looking forward to permanent. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they'll do it. The government never like, oh, we have a way of eliminating like a third of the people that work in this department. We can't do that. Like, why? House of Lords is unelected and used to be full of hereditary peers. It's like a reviewing body and less powerful than the House of Commons, which are elected. Hereditaries are being phased out. Yeah, I don't. We live in America, and we just, we don't. I believe in a meritocracy. Freaking crazy, isn't it, Marcus? Permanent GMT. I don't. Which one are we on right now? I would. Okay, I would prefer. I don't like this time right now, but I would prefer it to stay this time all the time than the back and forth. My preference is the other time because, like, I don't want it to be 5:30 and it's completely dark. And we don't live that far north. It's worse up there. It's exhausting. You know, for me, what am I going to do in the mornings, anyways? I'm going to be here. I don't give a shit if it's dark or, you know. I would prefer everybody to be on the same time. Like, it's 10 or 12 o'clock, and it's 12 o'clock everywhere. And some people just, you know, their 12 o'clock means something different. 24-hour clock instead of AM, PM. Um, I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the 12:01. The 12 o'clock is when it splits. It should change at 1. That always threw me off, was like when I was a kid. I'm like, it's it's 12 a.m. Oh, okay, so that's like noon. No, that's 12 p.m. Like, that doesn't make any sense. PM should be the darker one of the two. PM should be the one that's darker. But that's asking for a lot. But then that doesn't really work either because then 1 a.m. is always darker than 1 p.m. All right, next step. You're on GMT or Universal Time just now. I don't have a problem with calling it GMT. I heard the other day somebody wanted to change it. No, I'm not changing. I'm against changing shit. I'm against changing shit. Sorry, it's still Madras to me. Calcutta, suck it. Keep it up. I'll call it Formosa, which I didn't know was a Portuguese name. Mother. And if I could airbrush half as good as I could brush paint. now we're going to the combat. I took a picture of the one before. Might as well take a picture of this. This is amazing. This turned out so well. I should go have relations with myself. Look at this shit. And you guys can do it too, man. It's just patient. But it's all about doing stuff like this, man. Pace yourself where the things are going to be. Because you hate to do like a great job on a 7, and then, fuck, it's just over. It's over 20% where it needs to be. Look at that. Now. And this is what I'm trying to replicate it with. That's the 76 I'm trying to do. Okay, now we're going to do the magic part, also known as the part I could screw up. We're going to take this same green and we're going to add some white to it. I'm more comfortable using white than other colors for this. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to weather over it. I may have to be really careful with it. Now, we're going to go around the areas that aren't really near the number, so it pops even more. And now we'll do the same thing with blue. This is the kind of stuff I like more than anything else. Is doing this stuff, your own personality stuff. Like anybody can go and put a decal on, but like to make your own thing. All right, now we'll take a picture of it. I should just be painting all my decals. I'm not painting my own. I'm not painting my own Gerbo though. That's extreme. That is extreme. No, I ordered 2 things from suppliers in the United States, and they're slower. Typical. Ha! They didn't have a 76 here. Perfect. So I didn't have this decal. I mean, I got other ones coming, but I don't want to waste it on a wreck. All these Jerabos are gone. Let's try something different. Uh-oh. What am I up to? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Famous last words. Assuming I have a gloss varnish. I may not have one. Okay, we'll use that big. We'll use the big thing. That's it. Just that little bit. Here. And we'll get one of these. Airborne Divisions, 23rd Armored Brigade. Yeah. I'm going to paint my own little Diabolos. I mean, assuming I get any vehicles that would net a Diabolo. Not to steal my own thunder. Maybe I should get them painted for Valentine's Day. I can't keep secrets. So now I'm going to have an odd numbered gerbo. Oh well. And let's get our cutting board. If it wasn't for the tail, I'd paint this by myself, but these are Alorans, I think, which are okay. Some of their stuff is out of register. Like I said, microscale is the best. I've got some district miniatures ones coming as well. We'll see how they do. Now, I don't remember if the 11th Hussars used the Marmon Harrington, because the Marmon Harrington, I didn't really realize, is a South African armored car. So there was two armored car regiments, battalions, in the 7th Armored. And I think that's the other one. But if I get any more Humbers, on the off chance that I get more Humbers, they'll probably be 11th Hussars. Which I found some information that makes me think that they did have some just during Operation Crusader. I'm going to do something I shouldn't do, which is to drop this in here. And this isn't... No, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? It's like living on the edge. I'm lazy and I don't want to get up. I'll be right back. Let me go change the water on this. There we go. I am on mute. Balila. Balila sounds like it means whale. Really need to find an Italian officer figure. Or just no officer figure at all. Where is Gambara? Should have a showdown between Gambara and Pinar. Neither one of them show up. So I finished watching that video, and I agree with his assessment. I agree with his assessment. I said I don't really disagree with much that he has to say. I think he puts his arguments pretty. They make sense to me. Oh, we put this. Oh, this is going to be a problem. They'd be off drinking at a bar. We're going to need to stop and do some more infantry here shortly. You know, but between Italians, British, and I'm sorry, Commonwealth, and the Germans, there's plenty of different opportunities to do different stuff. Plenty of it. No, but I'm pretty emboldened by a number of vehicles. I think it can handle a lot of. I think this game can handle a lot of vehicles. I think you can handle 10 vehicles on a side. I mean, it'll go slow, but you know, the interaction of whose turn comes up when would be really interesting. All right. But where is Gambara? I was watching an interview with him and Chieftain. I came across it by accident, and he said that his most controversial video he had up to that point was the one on Market Garden, and I haven't watched that one. Of course, I'm not a Market Garden fan. I don't dislike Market Garden. It just I don't care about American paratroopers as a whole. I don't want to war game American paratroopers. Let's put it that way. That's the more correct way to say it. Well, I made my square the right size on the 76. I've outlined before why I don't like Market Garden. It doesn't interest me. I'm not a fan of Panzer brigades. Weird ad hoc type units. Deck? What about the deck? What about the deck? Decca Decca. Yeah, when I get Chad's thing, the first thing I'm going to do is the Marmon Harrington. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the Marmon Harrington first. It's all closed. I decided to get it with not. I realized it's got the little vision hatches. You can make them open and close. I'm like, make them close. Make the top hatch close too. I don't want every vehicle to have the hatches open. This decal's not sitting flush. Not sitting at all. Okay, Microsoft, do your magic. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I will. There we go, that worked. It is just lifting up. got shovels and stuff to paint. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's get the old. I don't like tools being weathered on top of them. It looks weird. Yeah, flat earth will work. Oh no, this is special duties brush. I made a special duty. We don't need that anymore. We can use this for additional water. All the wooden tools, which there's a fair amount on here. We got this shovel. They abandoned this vehicle and didn't take any tools with them. Or maybe they didn't make it. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a tool that's all metal. Looks like some kind of pickaxe. You know, it's a shame that I don't live in a time period where these things, you can just go to the store and pick one of these things up. But at the same time, if I did, there's a lot of gaps in our lines. Like, okay, like they make a Humber Mark II and you want to do something else. They don't make a vehicle for it. Like if you want to do stuff in the desert and you want to use Matchbox, they make a Honey. They make this. They don't make a Crusader. They don't make a Matilda. You'd have to get a Airfix Crusader, an Airfix Matilda. And if you wanted an A9 or an A10, you're screwed. Couldn't get one. Or God forbid, an A13. And a little bit of white. So I think my German vehicles, I'm gonna do one single number and it's gonna be red. I don't think I'm gonna do the black ones, because if I was doing both, if I was doing 1st Battalion and 2nd Battalion and the 15th, I would do black. I would do black on the second one, and red on the first one, just to mix it up a little bit. Just do something different. Have a good day. Oh, gotta run a couple errands. Yeah, hurry up before the people wake up. It amazes me how many people are not morning people. Which I wasn't a morning person, but you find out it's like, man, it's a lot easier to get things done while everybody's asleep. Just wake up early and take a nap if you need to. I gotta do stuff in the garage, but man, I gotta wait till it warms up a little bit. Or they just gotta wear extra clothes for no good reason. Okay, I think this is the top of a tool showing up there. And this is the Biza. They didn't take the Biza with them. When they bailed. I'm actually gonna have to go to this. I'm actually gonna have to go to the store and get paint for a 1-to-1 scale. Nasty paint. I'm gonna glue the 15 mil on there last. I don't want to have to do any brushing or something. Well, I'm not doing any over brushing right now. It's probably safe to go ahead and do that. Yeah. All right. Not this one. Is this the other one? Yeah. What's this one called? Iron Warriors. That's actually a jerry can, not a flimsy. Let me let that sit a little bit before we paint that black. Well, you know what time it is. Actually, it's time to go to the little boy's room. And then I'll be right back, and then we'll go do some drippings. It's drippings 30. Actually, one of the things I like to do more than anything else. It's getting there. Right back. Okay. Let's get our dripping colors out here. That worked really well the other morning. Soft tone, yep. Light tone, yep. Strong tone, yep. That's the three sisters. I don't do it in any particular order. This is freedom of doing things however the hell you want. I'm gonna think. Actually, I'm gonna go check and make sure that's the antenna. And if so, we're gonna drill that out. Humber Mark II. No, they don't have one there. Yeah, it really does look like a. Oh, it's up here on the turret? The guy could have built it wrong. Oh man, better. It's better not to know. Maybe I just leave it alone. No. Got a spot here. I don't know if this old guy built it correctly. I'm just gonna have to go with it. It is a wreck. This looks like something that looks awful suspicious. Like a heck. For all I know, that's the piece should be back here, and this one should be up here. Oh man. I'm not gonna put an antenna on it. I just, oh, that looks like exactly what it is. That radio thing should be here, and whatever that is shouldn't be there. I'm not gonna change it. I didn't build it. I just salvaged it. Okay, it does have a little light here and a double smoke discharger on the front, which is really cute. Damn. Oh, actually, technically, this is a double visa. And this is the headlamp. And these two smoke dischargers. That's the piece that should go over there. I don't know. It's from an estate sale. And the guy was older. Who knows when he did it. It's either that or it just wouldn't get used. So it'll be all right. We'll make up for it on the other Humbers if I get some. I mean, when they arrive. If they arrive. Although I have a feeling that even though this is not a 20 millimeter cannon, this should be able to penetrate those 222s just fine. Shouldn't really be an issue. But these are good looking armored cars. So are the Daimlers. Daimler. Some of the other ones just not too attractive. Actually, the Staghound, I was surprised to find out that it's actually an American vehicle, or Canadian, or something like that. It just has an ugly turret. That's all. What if anybody's painted something like deliberately like wrong and still look good? Like, a Cromwell tank in desert livery with like counter scheme with a Cromwell. That makes more sense than painting a Pink Panther. And I know people have done that. Well, this was an experimental vehicle that decided to put the antenna up here, and it made the vehicle crash. What's the word? The sound waves? The sardonic. Is it sardonic? You know what I'm talking about. Sound waves that make things fall apart. It's not sardonic. I can't remember what it's called. Sardonic. All right, let's do the some rustification. Easy. Keep it down over there. There was definitely this spilled here. Like I said, well, there's a latch A hinge, that's an opportunity for some rustification. But yeah, apparently the 11th Hussars did not name their vehicles, so they would just go by whatever their vehicle number was. F something or another. Oh, we'll try to, work that in there. Paint, and then we'll learn about stuff that nobody gives a shit about except me on the side. I think there's some severe rusting there. Let's get a little bit of white out here. How do I even get Reddit notifications? I don't give a shit about Reddit. little tarp thing there to do. Let's use a color that's a little bit different to add some little bit of spunk. Let's see this green gray. A spunky color. Doesn't look very green at all. Whoever tied this thing down, man, they need to teach a class how to tie things down. Because it didn't go anywhere. I'm trying to think if the store, if the do-it-yourself warehouse store has a good selection of spray paint. I think they do. I think they do. Let's get the pail sand out here. Takes quite a bit of work to do this, but I think it's a fun process. This stuff is pretty easy to find. I can source this pretty easily. And a good thing is it looks like both of these tufts are pretty self-adhesive. That one didn't gonna run over. Okay, and that's, I think, ta-ta for now on this one. Great for an objective, something you had to hide behind. You got some desert lads. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Looks the part. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for today. Probably all day. I don't know. I'll come back on if I get a chance. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to. I got to do work on some stuff in a 1-to-1 scale. So, all right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys on the next one or